Hey there guys, Templar here, and today we're going to be talking about the, well, pretty much if you guys have already read about it, the Celtic New Year. Now you guys might wonder, what's a Celtic New Year, Templar? This doesn't sound normal. Well, technically it's like this. The Celts actually celebrated their New Year, not in December, but technically it is in the end of a month. And it's pretty much in October. That's right, it's Halloween. Now, Halloween, the one we know today, isn't as historical as the ones from the ancient era. Now, technically this type of celebration is not celebrated throughout pretty much the entire world, but you get the point. But the reason why Celts actually celebrate this holiday is to bring in the new year. Now, the reason they celebrate in the fall is actually quite simple. Technically, it's kind of like this, actually. For the Celts, life and death was a commodity, I guess you might say, in which they viewed a year, technically, as a person's life. For example, 1 year, technically, is the cycle of the human life. As soon as fall comes, technically, that's the end of their life. And so, in doing so, in the ages of fall, months of fall and winter, that's the months of the dead. Meaning that technically he's supposed to be reborn. The person's supposed to be reborn in later on in the year. Which makes a little bit of sense. Now, technically, I've celebrated this holiday in my family. And if you guys don't know, I'm technically from a Celtic Norse Christian household. Now, if you guys don't know this, my father was Norse Lutheran, while my mother was Celtic Roman Catholic, so you can see where I get their inspiration from. But now that's the thing. Upon realizing this holiday, I wanted to do it myself, and I've celebrated it since, well, I was a little lad, so yeah. But as I was also going to be stating this, a lot of cultures have different types of New Year's. For example, Laos, they have theirs in April Fools, so I think you guys might want to know that part a little bit. But now, let's get right to it. Now, when we think of the Celtic New Year, we think, oh, it's Halloween, it's all the scares and such. We terrify the crap out of them, we give kids candy. No, that's not the Celtic New Year. In fact, the ancient times, pretty much the ancient Celts, mainly around there, such as during the time of the Roman Empire, the Celts celebrated the Celtic New Year. But it was only under Augustus Caesar that pretty much allowed the Celts to further flourish in this holiday. Which, you gotta admit, that's pretty cool for a Roman. In doing so, he even nearly adopted the holiday. It was only after Augustus' death that the holiday was later on called off in Rome, but Celts still celebrated it. Now, how is this celebration done? Well, normally, each once a year, technically, the Celts would always gather from different tribes. In fact, this would be an entire day type of, you guessed it, pretty much peace treaty for each tribe, such as the Celts in Gaul, Iberia, Britannia. You get the whole point, pretty much every Celt. In doing so, they pretty much all converge in an area. And in doing so, the tribes sacrifice one person per year. Now, this actually sounds a little barbaric, but this is actually kind of simple, really. The person's supposed to technically die under the word of the priestess, or priest, whoever you have on the stand. They cut into his chest, stab into his heart, killing him instantly in the process. Now you guys might think, oh, this is barbaric. Well, this is ancient religion, so it's going to get a little bloody. But upon doing this, the Celts ended up actually believing that if technically you killed the said person, he would go to the gods and speak with them and learn knowledge. That way, his soul would come back to Earth. If you guys don't know this, Celtic mythology technically rotates around a form of death and then certain rebirth. Kind of like Buddhists and Hindus. So you can see where that actually comes from. But now, you guys might wonder, wait, if this is true, then why would they do it in the first place? Why did they believe in this? Well, the thing is, we don't know why they believed in it the thing is, since Rome destroyed much of Celtic culture and Celtic history, we don't know much about them. So, yeah, we just gotta go off some footnotes. But it's only when Christianity came that a lot of Celts who ended up adopting Christianity still wanted to celebrate the Celtic New Year. Thing is, they couldn't. Roman Catholicism law technically stood against that. So you guys might ask, okay, so how did they do it? Did they do it like some sort of witchcraft thing? They go into the woods? No. No, that is the far, far from it. In fact, they'd be very open about it. In fact, Celts in modern-day France, or in medieval Spain, or including medieval, well, Scotland, or Wales, or even England, or including even Ireland, still celebrated openly. In fact, a lot of people have recognized this as their culture, and they're not going to go against it. In fact, during the time of the Roman Empire, even Constantine stated, "It's their faith, let them have it. Let them keep it." Though, technically, not every Roman leader actually adopted this idea. But still, the Celts ended up adopting Christianity. But instead of using human sacrifices, what they did do now was a form of candles. Precisely 3 candles. Now you guys might wonder, why 3 candles? Well, these 3 candles stand for 3 times. Dusk, midnight, and dawn. In fact, you're supposed to light the first candle pretty much, well, at dusk, when the sun's about to go down. Then light the middle candle at midnight, and then finally, the final candle at dawn. Now, word of warning, guys, this is actually stated through history books, that if you don't complete this task, if you just light 1 or just 2 of them, you technically don't finish the ritual, and in doing so, you kinda give bad luck to your own family, your ancestors know no peace, and technically they can haunt the living crap out of you. Now, pretty much I do this every once a year. Pretty much because I, well, want to be in touch with my ancestors. I want to hear them. And as well, if you guys also don't know this much, when it comes to the ancient Celts, they would wear black robes. But these black robes would have a white lining on the inside. You know, I can hear a lot of you guys already. What is that supposed to mean exactly? Well, it's like this. Technically, view it like this. From night, as soon as it turns from dusk, they have black robes. And as soon as the dawn comes, and they light the final candle, they then rotate their robes to the pure white. Meaning that the soul has gone from death into a new life. Now this is kind of ancient Celtic mythology, in which coexists with, well, Christianity. In fact, even a lot of, well, priests, and including saints, including even St. Andrew, even adopted this idea. So, yeah, you can see why a lot of people would have adopted this idea. Though as well, there's even St. Patrick. There's hundreds of saints that could have pretty much adopted this, in which they did. In fact, some Christians in France to this day still use it. In Spain, well, everywhere. If you have Celtic origins, you guys could probably try it yourselves and just speak with your ancestors. Now, pretty much in each time you light the candle, what you gotta do is say a type of seance type prayer. This type of seance would be known as the Corona. Now, the Coronal prayer would later on be changed into the Gordian chant prayer, which this is its original form. When the Gordian chant comes in, it sounds more like so yeah, you can see why there's a difference. Because technically, it's actually weird. The one that we actually hear from in the original Celtic version is more Celtic, but when it comes to the Gordian version, it's more Latin. So why did they change from Celtic to Latin? Simple. Christianity. Christianity was more of a Latin-based form, so you get to see the point. Thing is, though, a lot of the Celts rather spoken Celtic, and that's what they did. Now, anybody could lead this sermon, your mother, your father, a husband, a wife. Children, though, were stated did not actually lead it. Due to safety measures, they don't want the kid to get possessed by an outlawed spirit, meaning a spirit that's not from the family. Because this can actually sometimes happen. Sometimes you get your ancestral beings coming into your home, and next thing you know, they end up not being family. Now, though, there are hundreds, and I mean hundreds of factors that this is pretty much a very impressive form of Halloween festival, or type of Celtic holiday, I guess you might call it that. I pretty much still pronounce it Halloween, so just to make it a little easier for you guys to understand. But now you guys might ask, well, why was Halloween like this? Why would they always do this? Well, this was the original Celtic version when they became Christianized. Though its original name is technically Sabaton, or Sabanton, or in other Celtic names are Salgun, Egraun, and Esca. So you can see why there's so many of them. Me, I just rather pronounce it Halloween and just be done with it. But now, if you guys might ask also, well, are there any demons that pop out or whatever? No, you don't have to worry about that. At least that's a good thing. Well, mostly, because technically a lot of people end up adopting this idea, such as those that try using dark black magic. Sorry, just had to yell at the idiots in the next room. Who pretty much would end up using dark magic. In other words, using a sacrifice of a cat with this type of form ended up causing multiple amounts of bad problems. Summoned up evil spirits, you get the whole point. But now, the Celtic New Year is probably one of my favorite New Years out of all, in which nowadays we don't celebrate it. In fact, in Scotland, Ireland, and Wales, or parts of other Celtic-speaking regions, they still don't celebrate this holiday because of the fact, well, they got so used to other cultures that it kind of destroyed their own. It's kind of like stating that Laos should not have its own holiday. Or, technically, it's, you know what I mean. But still, you can see why the Celts celebrate this holiday. To be with their ancestors, to speak with them, to make, well, to talk with them, to be with their loved ones again. Anyways, guys, if you love this episode, press that like button, subscribe for more, and always remember, guys, have a good day.